Well, hey folks, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. About 3 months or so ago, I did a video on this KP Mini 150cc made by Lifan. And at the time I got it, it was still fairly cold weather, and so I wasn't able to ride it a lot at that time. But since then, for the last couple of months, I've been riding it a lot. Put over 1,000 miles on the bike and taking it on some different road conditions. I've taken it on backwoods trails, I've taken it on dirt roads and gravel roads, and a lot of my backcountry roads. I've even taken on the highway a few times. Now, this is the KP Mini 150cc. It's made by Lifan, and it is a very good bike, from what I can tell you. Very well made. The only thing I had to put together on it to, when I got it out of the box, I had to put the handlebars on and the controls on. That's it. Everything else was already on the bike. And this bike will do about 60 miles per hour with a guy my size. I'm about 5'7", right around there, and about 170 pounds. Now, this bike will do about 60 miles per hour with a guy my size on a flat out. So that's a good speed and a good miles for a bike that I wouldn't say it's for freeways. It's not for freeway use. It won't go fast enough for freeways. But it will do highway speeds, and it will definitely take you for local riding. And that's really what this bike is for. I got it so I can run to town and get some groceries. As you can see, I've got my saddlebags on my bike. And so I can run to town, get some groceries, or I can go fishing, which is what I'm planning on doing today. And this bike also gets about 135 miles per gallon. Now, I tested that, and I went up 6 times to a town that is 10 miles away from here. So I did about 20 miles altogether round trip, and I could do 6 of those trips on less than a gallon of gas. So that's about 120 miles per gallon. So yeah, it'll probably do 135 miles per gallon, I think. And for a 150cc, it has a lot of power. This is a really zippy little motorcycle. Now, the reason I got this is I've had a couple of knee surgeries, 3 knee surgeries, and I have no ligament in my right knee. I used to ride larger motorcycles all the time, but as I got older, my knee got a lot weaker, and so did my back. And if I got up to a stop and I got turned just a little bit over with the weight of the motorcycle, I would drop the whole motorcycle over. So it got dangerous for me to ride the bigger bikes. So I sold those off. I got this instead. This bike weighs about 250 pounds, so it's fairly lightweight. You can see this, and I can, because of the low seat, I can put my feet right square on the ground, which makes this a lot safer for holding up at a stop or something like that. Also makes it a lot more maneuverable. At 250 pounds, this bike is extremely maneuverable, which I really like, because sometimes something runs out in the road, a dog or something like that, you got to get around it really fast. A lighter bike is much more maneuverable. This kind of bike would be good for a student, a guy that's a little bit on the smaller size, a woman maybe, or for a new rider. If you're just learning how to ride, a bike like this would be a good motorcycle to learn how to ride on, because it's safer and it's not costing you so much. You know, you can get into a bike like this fairly inexpensively. You can get them on Amazon for payments even if you want to. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm doing a 3-month review, so I figured I'd take you along, because I'm going to go fishing. You can see I've got my fishing supplies on one side of my saddlebag, and I've got my sandwich and my drink and my little cooler ready to go on the other side of the bag. And I'm going to put that in my saddlebag, and I'm going to drive up the canyon, show you some beautiful country, and use my GoPro camera here to show you the scenery and the place where I like to go fishing. And that will be my 3-month review for the KP Mini 150cc Lifan motorcycle. So come on along. this is Big Springs Pond, and this is the top pond, the biggest of the 3 ponds. And these ponds were originally beaver. They started out as beaver ponds, which would be a natural pond, but it was a much smaller pond then. And then during the Depression, they hired the young guys like my dad to work for the CCCs. The Forest Service brought them up here, and they dug these out. A lot of it they dug by hand, but they also had backhoes and dozers, and they cleared trees, and they made campgrounds up in here. You can see people camping up in there. And they made campgrounds up in this area, and that was work that the young men could do, and they had to send, I think, half of their money back to the family or more, and then they camped out mostly, so they didn't have any place to spend any money anyway. And the CCCs, the Forest Service, fed them, and they kept them out for like a month at a time, working on building stuff like these projects, like these campgrounds and these small ponds, reservoirs, and these are just absolutely chock full of fishing. I started fishing here when I was a young kid, and I've caught some humongous fish out of these ponds out here, 24-inch trout, some of the biggest trout in the state.